Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. This is Tom Crawford with the Stix Stuff Podcast. That's the stixandstuffpodcast.com. What is the Stix Stuff Podcast? Well, I talk about cigars. I talk about wine if I'm at a winery, which I happen to be today. We're at Buckley Vineyards, and Buckley happens to be one of our sponsors. And a fantastic winery. Great people, great staff, great wines. It's just a fantastic place. But anyway, that's part of the podcast. I may talk about cigars a little bit. I may talk about wine. If I'm at a cigar lounge, I may talk about cigars. I may talk about bourbon. But this is really not a cigar podcast. It is a podcast where we interview successful people and interesting people. And there are so many interesting people in our neck of the woods. And so that's what we're doing here today. Once again, we're at Buckley Vineyards in Ellijay, Georgia. And Buckley is just one of the finest wineries anywhere around, and fantastic wines. I happen to be drinking a little Buckley Vino today, and believe this is a Malbec number 7. It is so new that the bottle is not even labeled yet, which is fantastic. So not only am I a guinea pig, but I get to drink some very good wine before anybody else does. So I can tell you, it's damn good. But anyway, today we're here with a very good friend of mine, Jono Agurto. And Jono is a very interesting person. Jono and I were in prison together, and we were having a good time until his family sent him soap on a rope, and I don't know what the fuck worked out there, but Jono and I were having a great time until then. But anyway, tell us a little bit about yourself and what you do, where you've been. You've done a little bit of everything.
Yeah. Well, first of all, thank you for having me. Buckley's, thank you for having us out here at your lovely place. This is, I call this place my home. We spend a lot of time here. We love this place. We were here at the soft opening when it first opened. A friend of mine said, "Hey, this awesome little winery is opening up. Let's go check it out." And we actually came up here, and we've been coming here ever since. Spend a lot of time, a lot of money, which is good. They're super charitable to us. We'll talk about that here in a minute. So my name is Jono Agurto. A lot of people around town call me Big Cat.
Big Cat.
The Big Cat, yeah. Somebody actually named me that about 15 years ago, and they said, they started calling me the Big Cat. I didn't start calling myself. They said every time something bad happens to you, you always land on your feet. So it's kind of stuck, and that's it is what it is.
El Gato Grande.
El Gato Grande. So a little bit about me. Grew up in South America. There's probably some things, Tom, that you don't even know about me.
Hell no, I didn't know that.
Yeah, I was born in South America.
Were you in that prison down there?
No, I was actually south of than that.
Okay.
I was actually born in Chile.
Holy
a little
shit.
Skinny country just south of, just right next to Argentina. I was born there. First generation American. My mom got us out of Chile when they had the communist dictator overthrow, Pinochet and Allende.
Yeah.
So she got us out.
I think the CIA played around in that
a little bit, yeah,
there.
very
Just
much
a little bit.
So we ended up. My mom came to the States. Lived. We were in New York. She came here, and then about 6 months later, she ended up sending for us, and we ended up moving to New York. And I was raised in New York, in Long Island, in a little town called Roslyn, very affluent town, and then just kind of grew up there. And about when I was 19, I was like, New York's insane. You're either you end up hanging out with the same people, date the same girls that your buddy dated, and you kind of get in a little rut.
Yeah.
And then then I moved down south. Then I moved to Orlando for a little bit with my brother.
Where'd you go to school?
I went to Florida State.
No way.
Yeah, but I went to FSU.
You're a semi-hole?
Semi-hole, Seminole, baby.
Yeah.
And yeah, I ended up going to Florida State and got my degree in criminology. I was about to go to law school. I actually took my LSAT, ready to go to law school. I was all set, did well on my LSAT. I got into the, it's kind of weird. I got into the University of Colorado at Boulder. I got accepted there, and my last semester, my second to last semester in college, I did an internship at the state attorney's office, and I crashed the state attorney's car going to pick up a witness for a murder, and I got stuck. I got stuck in the office, which was the best thing that ever happened. Willie Meggs is his name. It's 11th Circuit District down in Tallahassee. I crashed his car, and they're like, "You can't drive anymore, so you got to just come into the office." But the good thing about it, I started working cases instead of all the other interns were like picking up lunch and picking up like clothes for people. Like, hey, go pick up my dry cleaning, and I was like, no. So I started working cases, and I met a police officer on this murder case where a father had actually killed us, and he asked me to do a ride along, like you see on Cops.
Yeah.
So he picked me up at my house. The cop pulled in the driveway. All my friends were all panicked. They're like, well, what's going on? And I'm like, no, I met this guy, and we ended up going to do a ride along in Tallahassee, and it was on a Friday night. It was awesome, the sirens and everything. So when I got my degree in criminology, I moved here to Atlanta, and got on with the Fulton County Police Department in Atlanta, and I worked there for several years. Yeah, I worked the street patrol. Then I got assigned to the cops unit.
What years was that?
93.
Oh, 93.
93 to 99. Worked the.
I was doing convention business during that time.
Yeah, downtown.
Yeah.
So I worked for Fulton County for a bunch of years, and then I went on the SWAT team for a couple of years, and then I couldn't afford a house down where I lived, so I bought a house up in Forsyth County, and I went up to the sheriff's office. I worked there for 1 year, and I hated it. Working for a sheriff's office is crazy because they think, like, they would be like, I'd go and answer a call or do something, like, you work for me, because they vote in the sheriff, and I was just like, oh, I hate this. So I did 1 year, and then I went over to Gwinnett. With all the experience that I had from Fulton, when I went over to Gwinnett, I was on for a month. And we had these little mailboxes, and I found a letter in there from somebody. It says, put in for detective. I was like, yeah, okay, I'll put in. I ended up going in there, and I went to my lieutenant. I was like, who gave you that? I'm like, I have no idea. So I was like, I've only been here a month. They're like, yeah, but you've got more experience than all these guys together. And so I put in. It was a Thursday. Imagine going to a department. Imagine going somewhere, getting hired, and then, like, you're hired in as a guy that's stocking shelves, and next thing you know, you're the VP of that location. That's exactly what it was. So I put in on a Thursday. I was hired in on Friday, and then on Monday I started as a detective, and I was there for a bunch of years. And then that's where I met my wife at the office, and I got up to the senior detective, and I was a homicide investigator for like 4 years.
How in the hell did you get from that to Zurich?
So it's kind of weird. This is I love policing. I did. I never came at policing from the side that, I was beat up in a playground and I want to be a cop and like show my authority. That's not what it was about. It was about, just helping people out and, being a poor kid too, understanding that. So when policing came around, I loved it, but there was no money in it. This is a right.
Yeah.
I mean, imagine this, after almost 12 years, I was making $37,000 a year after 12 years.
Oh my God.
And being the senior guy, and I was it was just, I'd have to work so many hours just to get by.
Yeah.
And I had enough business acumen to understand that I can do better, and that's what I ended up doing. I ended up leaving the police department, which I hated, and got into the risk engineering and loss control. But I didn't want to I didn't want to be one of these guys that works at like Target and watches people steal glasses and then beat them up. I got into the risk engineering side for like insurance companies, like making like fatalities and stuff like that. And then I got brought, I worked for a company out of Suwanee, Georgia for about, I don't know, 10 years. And that was going good. I got a lot of experience. And then Zurich, a headhunter, heard about me and came and got me. And they offered me a position way higher than I thought I was going to get. I thought I was just going to be a regular risk engineer.
Yeah.
But Zurich came over and when I got hired, it was kind of weird. I walk into the office and they're like, "Oh, you're the new PME," and I'm like, "What the hell's a PME?" and so I learned quickly what a PME was. It's a portfolio management executive.
Oh, wow.
So I was the director for the global division for Zurich, where they broke everything down. So I only dealt with clients that had over 750 million and above. That's what it was kind of weird. When I started working, I used to sweat these meetings so bad because I'm like, does anybody know that I have no idea what the hell I'm doing? Like I'd be in these meetings, but you quickly learn. I mean, you quickly learn what you're doing, and that's what I had to do. I mean, I would be in a meeting and they'd be talking and I'd be writing stuff down, and it looks like I'm writing stuff down about the meeting, but I'm writing down like the acronyms, like BOP, business operating, profits and stuff. And then there was this young guy that works the tie-in with you, which is ironic. So I met Gavin, your stepson,
Right.
at a wedding years ago. And the little wedding that we were at was with a guy named Miles Reyes. And that's where I met your stepson. He was the guy that I would go ask questions for. And he was just an admin kid. He was an assistant underwriter. He got a CPCU, which is a certificate to be an underwriter.
Yeah.
And then now he actually runs the office. He left to Liberty, and now he's running the Zurich office down in Atlanta.
That's crazy.
Yeah, and
That's crazy.
and your son's great friends with him, great kid.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's how I got to Zurich, and it's been positive. I left the PME job, and now I'm the captive executive, overseeing a bunch of captive programs within Zurich. Captives is like umbrella insurance, risk sharing.
Right.
And I've been there 11 years now. I'll probably do maybe 4 or 5 more years and figure out what else I'm going to do in life.
That's kind of interesting, because I ended up in the insurance business kind of in a similar way. I was in the convention industry for years, and I made pretty good money, but I traveled all over the damn country, and it never stopped.
It gets old.
It gets old.
Very.
And so I had an opportunity to get in the insurance industry and have my own little deal.
Yeah.
And it turned out great. So what's not to like?
People think that traveling is great, and it's good in the beginning, but then after a while, you're like, man, it gets so old. It gets so ridiculous. It's kind of like, you're like, and it's kind of funny because, my son, we would take him places and we get all the perks. I get to fly first class. I get to drive nice cars because we rent them so much. I was gone so much. But then after a while, I was just kind of like, man, I just want to be home.
Yeah.
I just want to be home. It doesn't matter where.
No, I get it. I mean,
and now with my company, they fly me all over the world. So a lot of our companies we deal with are domiciled out of the Cayman Islands. So I've got to go to the Cayman Islands, which most people will be like, oh,
tough duty.
But it sucks. It really does.
Yeah,
it stinks.
yeah.
I'd rather be home with my wife,
my
dogs and stuff like that, and hanging around.
Well, one of the great things I know about you is the fact that you and your wife, Blondie, as you refer to her as, the big cat and Blondie are some of the most beneficial people to. We live in Ellijay, and this is Gilmer County, and we're up in the mountains, and it's beautiful, but you have done something that is so unique that really, my wife and I are in awe of you and your wife for what you've done for animals.
Yeah.
It's just It's absolutely impressive. I want you to talk a little bit about it, how it works, what you've done, and you laid a figure on me earlier today that was just unbelievable. You've raised over $300,000 for the animal shelter?
Yes, sir.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Tell us about that, and tell us how'd you get
Yeah.
involved with it, and you know.
So we moved up here. We used to come up here on vacation quite a bit, and then we decided to buy a home back in 2018. About 2019, 2020, we used to go to Carter Brewery, and there was a guy sitting there with two dogs, two big dogs, pit bulls. We got pit bulls. So I talked to the guy, and I was like, hey, can I approach? Knowing dogs and knowing what we have.
Yeah.
The guy's like, absolutely. Me and him started talking. Great guy. Will Rowlett. Fantastic dude. Saw him, played with his dogs. I've always been a dog person, so I was just playing. The dogs were really attached. He's like, they're scared of everybody. For some reason, they're not scared of you. I was like, fantastic. I see him a week later, and we start just BSing. We start talking about where we are. He ends up being a Virginia Highway Patrolman.
No way.
Yeah, he's an EOD guy, a bombs explosive guy. Totally just connected, me and him. And he's like, I'm retired, but I live here now, and I work at the animal shelter. I was like, oh, that's cool. And we're very tied in with the animal shelter down in Alpharetta, because we used to go donate money, and we used to go pay. If somebody wanted to adopt a dog, the $125 or $150 every year, we would pay like 2 or 3 free adoptions. So you just show up there. It wouldn't post for free, like there, so somebody wouldn't take it just because it's a free dog. But when they would go up to pay for the adoption fees, me and my wife had already paid the adoption fees. So we were very tied into the dogs. Then when we met Will, we was like, oh, you work at the animal shelter? What's going on there? And he's like, it's beat up. I was like, what does the animal shelter need? We'll come and help and donate money or whatever. He's like, the animal shelter needs beds. I was like, beds? He's like, yeah, beds. I was like, okay, how many beds does it need? He goes, well, I don't know. I don't know what kind of beds. I was like, just tell me. So he goes and he researches more beds and stuff like that. And he's like, these are the beds, because it's on concrete. You can't have the beds that you would have for your dog at home. The little fly, because most of the dogs will eat them. So yeah, it's elevated beds. So when they pee, it'll go underneath and drain out and stuff like that. I said, okay, just give me a bill. How much? I was like, yeah, I'll replace the beds. I don't care. You figure it out. So he goes, research it, and I said, we'll buy them all. We'll pay for all of them. So he gives me a bill, and he's thinking I'm only going to give like $100. I said, no, I'll just pay the whole damn thing. So I said, and it's kind of weird. A little backstory about me and my wife. We came from nothing. I'm a government cheese kid from New York, and my wife's a WIC girl from. I had no idea I was poor. Zero. I just knew that big block of cheese would come, and I'd make that sandwich that's about that thick, of grilled cheese that gets stuck behind your teeth. Yeah. But when we started having a little bit of success and financial stuff, I always wanted to give back, and that's what we've done.
Right.
And so first it started with the beds, and then it started with. And then he goes, "Hey, can you come and help me walk the dogs?" And I was like, "Walk the dogs?" Not even thinking that these dogs are in a little run and they don't get out. So we started going there, and in the beginning, the dogs were only getting out 1 day a week. We'd walk half the dogs on Tuesday, half the dogs on Thursday, and then maybe if we had time on Saturday and Sunday, we'd get out and walk the dogs, and that's what we did. And it just started progressing, and we had a couple of little volunteers, and then my wife kind of got the idea maybe we need to do this on a voluntary basis, like really start opening this up. So we actually started, and that's where that Ellijay Paws in Need, we actually started it, and now it's a 501c charity, a nonprofit charity that we started. My wife's the president of the Ellijay Paws in Need, and we've been doing it for 5 years, and now we have I think over 70 or 80 volunteers. The dogs get out every single day.
Now, when a dog is adopted, they're not just adopted here in Ellijay or Gilmer County. They could go anywhere in the country, right?
Anywhere.
And y'all will facilitate that with.
We can send them places. I mean, it becomes a little bit of an expense, but there has been dogs removed.
Yeah.
But we do kind of like a background check on a person. We just don't want to give a dog to a situation that's not good for them. We want these people to like not be living with like 80 other dogs and a bunch of it's got to fit the situation. You know, the dog has got to fit the house has got to fit the dog. You know, we want fenced yards because we don't want, we don't.
Right.
It's kind of sad when you see a lot of these dogs that are just not appreciated and abused. That becomes troublesome. So we don't want to put them from a bad situation to another bad situation.
Yeah.
We want people to come in and be like, this dog fits you, because we just want that respect for that dog. You know, we'll wait for the right person, but we don't want to just stick them in a bad situation. That's not good. Doesn't benefit the dog or anything. So
I get that.
So when we started doing this, we saw that the county wasn't doing very good about giving money to anything. They went like the buildings messed up. There was no air conditioning, so these dogs are sweltering. 2 years ago, or a year and a half ago, I took a temperature meter inside there in the summer, 91 degrees. Think about you sitting in a car at 91 degrees all day long, all night long. And we're like,
That's terrible.
We got to start doing something. So in the beginning, we started raising money, and we would do a lot of charity events. And how we're tied in with Kevin in this location is there's a business owner that Rolf downtown, who used to own Emily's, real great guy, Frenchie, what's I call him?
Frenchie.
Yeah,
Hey, but
he's German, but I call him Frenchie.
Yeah.
We were actually here. We were sitting right here at the bar, and I called him out, and I was like, man, you can't cook. You can't cook for shit. And we went back and forth, and I said, I bet you I could outcook you. He's like, what do you want to cook? I said, let's try lasagna. And it happened right there, and I said, I bet you $1,000 I could outcook you. And so we looked at each other, we shook hands, and that's where the first $1,000 came from. But then he's like, I'm going to donate my 1,000 even if I win. I said, I'll donate my 1,000 even if I would. And then we got in the guy from the roof, Matt Bond from the roof. So the first year
Which is also one of our sponsors.
Yeah, one of your sponsors. Matt's an awesome guy. That's awesome that he's a sponsor. And the first year we did it, we raised, 15, 20 grand. And over the past 4 years, between this and some other things that we've done within the county, we raised over 300 grand for the shelter. So we ended up putting a new AstroTurf play area for the back, put a big steel building over it, roof. It's got water systems on it, just to make it, because the county wouldn't fund that. And so we ended up doing all that. And now, like I said, the dogs get out at least one time a day. Now there's 2 groups that actually go in the afternoon and play with the dogs also. So every dog gets out every day, and it's so healthy for the dog. Because
that's great.
Just like a human. Imagine sticking a human in jail and not letting them get out at all. The psychosis comes in, and you can see that.
That's just amazing. I know you've done great things, but so one of the big fundraisers is the Lasagna Cook-Off, right?
What is this thing? What are you talking about, a Lasagna Cook-Off? What is that?
I don't know. You tell me. I mean,
talking about this?
Yeah, you're the world champion, right?
The world champion Lasagna Cook-Off. See that? Hey, Rolf, look at this. It hurts him every single time that I wear this thing. So
what was it, like Chef Boyardee or Stouffer's?
It was, it's Stouffer's.
Yeah.
Stouffer's makes one hell of a damn good lasagna.
Well, there you go.
No, so it's an annual event here. It's actually the largest charity event now in Gilmer County. We raise the most amount of money.
So you beat out 2 chefs.
Actually, you had 2 chefs and a brewer. Yeah, and we ended up beating them out. This is the 4th year that we've done it here. We just had it here a couple weekends ago, and it's a lot of fun. It's all about the animals, so we don't. It's not.
I mean, the brewer I understand, because fermented lasagna. Not so
but
good.
The weird thing about it, he's actually won the last 2 years.
No way.
Yeah, so Rolf won the first year, and then Brooks is not won the last 2 years, and I've come up short. And this year I actually, started studying making lasagna, which is actually stupid. How do you study making lasagna? But it's an art. It's an art. And I spent a ton of money making 2 lasagnas. I bought a piece of cheese that was this big, no lie, and that thick, little piece of cheese. I had to shop for it, $27, and I'm talking maybe 6 ounces. And the guy's like, just scrape it on your lasagna, and he's like, don't put it on because it's specialized cheese, and it made a difference. We ended up winning.
Wow.
And I'm actually going on vacation. Yeah.
So it was kind of graded on the top.
Very light graded.
Yeah.
But this thing is, so the guys who have won it, so it's a funny story with the belt. Rolf won it the first year, and he had Emily's downtown, which is now Butcher and Barrel. He had it, and he put this. He was so proud of it. He put it over one of the wine coolers. I was in there having a couple of libations, we'll say, and I stole it, and I took it to Vegas with me. So I'm running around Vegas with the belt. I'm having people take pictures with it. Then I gave it back to him. Brooks wins it the year after. He nails it to the wall, but he nailed it with these screws that you can't unscrew. You have to have a special, because he thought I would steal it. And then this year, so this thing's never toured, but this thing's going to be everywhere. This thing's going to Cabo with me tomorrow. It's going to England and Scotland in July with me,
great.
and then Puerto Rico with me, and then we'll give it
great.
back. So I told them whatever it looks like now, it's going to look terrible in the future. So, yeah,
be like the Stanley Cup.
Yeah, very, very much. You drink it out of it.
Have you ever seen the Stanley Cup?
Seen
it's dented all the hell and back.
So the one that they actually, there's 2 of them. That's what people may not know. There's a Stanley Cup that they keep, that they write the names on, and then there's a Stanley Cup that they give to the players, and every player will take it and run around with it, and drink out of it. And
it's dented all the hell and back.
Oh hell yeah, it is.
Jeez.
But like I said, we love the community. We love hugely generous community, which is awesome. We do, like I said, the lasagna things here. We do not necessarily, it's the lasagna thing. I'm the MC, which is kind of nutty. I just get drunk and yell at people to give me money.
Imagine that.
And then
Big Cat being the MC.
And then we do a live auction, a silent auction, and a lot of charitable people in this community, which is amazing.
This was auctioned off right here.
Yeah,
right?
me and my wife actually. Me and my wife actually, every year we pick somebody that we're going to auction off. John Kelly was 1 year, and then Rolf was last year, and this year we decided to make. This is Kevin and Gay.
This is Kevin and Gay Buckley from Buckley Vineyards, which we're at right now. And
it even has his little hat up there.
Oh yeah, that looks pretty good.
Yeah, so we did that, and it's just some way to give back to people, and he has it up here now.
That's better than you've ever looked before, Kevin, by the way. Yeah, I'll just say.
No, but it's cool. Every year we pick somebody, and it's cool, and all the money goes back to the shelter. So
it's amazing what Photoshop can do.
Yeah, exactly. So it's been cool. But it's been awesome. Like we said, we love the community. When we moved up here, we decided to really get involved, and that's why I started golfing with you guys.
Yeah.
I think that was very important for us to just kind of intertwine.
Just kind of immerse yourself into
very much so.
The neighborhood and everything.
Yeah.
Well, Jono, great talking to you today.
Thank you, bud.
My pleasure. Fantastic interview. I really appreciate it.
Thank you.
Once again, ladies and gentlemen, this is the Stix Stuff Podcast.com. We always talk to interesting people. You never know who we're going to have on, and you never know what we're going to say. And we actually have a world champion here today, so what's not to like? But anyway, stay tuned for the next Stix Stuff Podcast.com. Thank you.
Thank you, Tom.
Kneel by the river and cup my hands, drink to life in the promised land. Her rocky mountains, desert and sea, where all a man's dreams are able to be. Ups and downs, and come what may. I'm here, I'm proud, and I'm here to stay in America. In America. In America. In America. Yep. Shadows come and shadows go. The sun is high and the sun is low. There is evil and good in everybody's hands. Evil and good in everybody's hands. Ups and downs, come what may. I made my choice and I'm here to stay. In America. In America. In America. In America. Well, I pray for good intentions in the man. I believe in the soldier and his stand. I pray for good intentions in the man. I believe in the soldier and his stand. I pray for good intentions in the man up on the hill. In America. Oh yeah. Oh, in America. Do you get my meaning? What I say? Each is good in his own way. But we all need freedom and a place to pray. Do our will any given day. Oh, yeah. Yeah. Do you get my meaning? What I say?